This is another video from the Machinedrum Chronicles. I'm sorry for the crackling, this is some kind of improvised setup. And as you can see, I coupled the Machinedrum with the Digitakt. And it's completely coupled. The inputs and the output from the Machinedrum go to the inputs of the Digitakt. Also the Digitakt outputs go to the inputs of the Machinedrum. We will see if we will use this in this video, I don't know yet. Then there's the midi out going from the Machinedrum to the Digitakt and vice versa. And I set it right now to in a way that the Digitakt is the slave. Unfortunately, I cannot set things with one hand and hold the microphone with the other. So this is really a strange design decision. They should have had another function button here or sticky shift button. But I think I need to put the microphone away for a second. So now it tells me that the microphone of the iPhone is low. We will see how far we get. So I'm here in the control setup of the Machinedrum and sync. I set it tempo out is just that it sends MIDI clock out of on to on and control out. I think this is stop, play, pause, etc. commands, and I also needed to set bass channels to higher channels 13 to 16 in order to the Digitakt not responding on the first channel to each channel here, because I think there are some differences in the concept that here everything is different notes on one channel more or less, and here each track is a different MIDI channel, and also there you can select the note to be played. You can see here that the tempo is transmitted 172.6 and it averaged here 172.7, 0.8, 0.5, so it kind of seems to work. I also set here the MIDI configuration sync to clock receive instead of clock send, transport receive instead of transport send. Everything else off. Turbo speed, oh, it unchecked itself. We will need this in a second. And here's output functionality, throughput functionality. So I didn't change any of this. So one thing that I tested first, and this is something that works, is to send samples from the Machinedrum to the Digitakt, and it can be used in the Digitakt like any other internal sample. This is just great. So in order to do this, I have to put away the microphone again. Function and global brings me to this menu, and here there's a file submenu, and here's the sample manager. Here are all the samples from the 48 slots in the Machinedrum W Mark II, and also the buffers of the recording machines. Something's in the buffer, and let's hear it. So, and in order to hear it, so we need to set the internal mixer. You can select the pages with funk and LFO, and I can do this with one hand. So here's a dual mono in or stereo in. I set it to stereo, and here I select the signal. So signal on. So I want it to just stay here, and signal off. Nothing. Signal in between. And you can also apply effects to the incoming signal. So, and let's see which sample we want to transmit.
I would die for peanut butter. I would die for peanut butter.
So one is the clean sample, and one is the
I would die for peanut butter.
resampled sample that I resampled within the Machinedrum, and then I saved it to one of the slots. So I wanted to send this to the digitact, and I go to send
I would die for peanut butter.
and select send. So then this really takes a while. I'm pretty sure that this is already the turbo speed, but perhaps we can send one of these later. Maybe it isn't the turbo speed. The digitact itself does its receiving and sending of any samples with the transfer application, also via MIDI, and this is the reason why the transfer speed is limited. But as I remember from sending files from the computer, it wasn't that slow. Perhaps it's the original speed, and here this is a closed loop because I have connected both MIDI connections, and that way the sample is transferred and can be played back just as it is recorded in the Machinedrum. So, and now I really need to fill the time until this is finished. I don't want to speed it up in order to demonstrate the patience that is needed to operate the machine in that way, and also perhaps to encourage people to use this in order to perhaps achieve a flow state or Zen state, at least a state where you decide what you're doing before you're doing it, because it takes quite a while. So I assume the selection of samples that ends up on the other machine will be very curated. So let's go to the sample menu. I forgot how to do it, so also for me to remember, push the cogwheel, I think this is called, and go to samples here, it's beneath project. It is not in the sound manage menu, and really I like that they implemented the song mode. Well, I don't like that they made it the first choice. I need import and export much more often than I need to edit or play songs. Be this as it may, cogwheel samples incoming, and now it's there. I don't know why I received the 39. Well, let's just hear it. Function and yes. Nothing happens. I need to press down function yes all the time.
I would die for peanut butter.
So this is the same sample. Let's put it to the 8, I think. Load to project. So now this is loaded to the project, but not here yet. So then you run and 39. Where was it? Where can I place that? Manage sounds. No, these are finished sounds. So here, I think it was here, yes. Here I can select that one.
I would die for peanut butter.
So
I would die for peanut butter.
there seems to be some kind of envelope on it.
I would die for peanut butter. I would die for peanut butter.
This was the filter envelope. Oh, I need the amp.
I would die for peanut butter.
Okay.
I would die for peanut butter. I would die for peanut butter. I would die for peanut butter.
And here's the filter.
I would die for peanut butter. I would die for peanut butter.
Okay. So and here the sample rate reduction is in the second menu.
I would die for peanut butter.
And also a bandpass filter.
I would die for peanut butter.
So this is not about the digitect, so let's stop playing around with it. The problem is, or one problem is, despite the fact that the digitect has a lot of Machinedrum DNA with all that sample in and out stuff, it's not possible, to my knowledge, to trigger SysEx sending of a sample from the digitect to anything else, and one needs the transfer software. This is a pity. So another way to get samples from the Machinedrum to the digitect is, of course, sampling. Go to the sampling menu. Here I set it already to 1 bar, 16 steps, and the threshold, unfortunately there is no function sample when patterns start or something like this. It starts with threshold, and this has to be tested. So this is clearly above the threshold. So So perhaps I want to have this crash in the digitact. So I set it to function yes record, and this is to sample whole patterns and also useful if one wants to make sample chains. So and so let's just look how it works if we wanted to record a whole bar. Yes is arm, and then play. So it stopped recording after one bar because it's synchronized. Let's hear it, function and yes. It's okay, and I'm a little bit disappointed that the volume in playback is lower than that of the monitored signal. And if I want to use this, I could save it. So what I don't want, so function and no discard. So and here max is, let's just record 16 steps maximum, but only a single crash. Function and yes, no, yes, only arms it, and crash. Alright. This is okay, I wanted to save it. Is there a normalize function? I don't know. In the octa track I think everything is normalized, but here I don't see it. So assign sample to track. Okay, if I sample it directly it's possible. I put it to 2D7. Done. So tune it down a little bit. Oh, I set it to backward. I didn't want this. Same thing here. I think it needs some work to make it sound like it sounds directly from the Machinedrum. Perhaps it just sounds that way. So, and the other thing would be to record samples from the digitact to the Machinedrum. I hope the battery will last a few more minutes, so go to samples. Okay, so the iPhone needed some rest to charge its batteries, and in the meantime I loaded some samples to the sample pool of the digitact that I wanted to have in the Machinedrum. It's here. There is I don't know if we can pre-listen to them. I don't think so. Okay.
De gabber. Zijn we daar niet? Kun je af? Hardcore!
So, and again this annoying envelope that I don't want to have here. I really need to use this thing more often. So this is a sample from the DR110 club, and I love a lot, and I really regret selling the machine. And right now I want to have this one long hardcore sample, a speech sample, and I put it on track 2, and I already pitched it up so that it fits 1 bar, and I can later pitch it down, and here it's just 1 step. And I also set the Machinedrum to a fitting tempo. This is because the sampler of the Machinedrum is coupled to the tempo, and the length parameter is always in relation to the number of steps or bars. So a length of 127 is 2 bars. So I think I have a RAM machine on track 13, but we will, yes, there's the RAM machine, and there is the possibility to have a pre-listening to it while, for everything that's coming in. You will see. Hard to tell because it should have gone through the machine, and also in order to have it working, one needs to engage it once. We will just test this. So I said, okay. So there's a slight flanging effect, so I guess this works, and I'll just set it to pretty loud. This rate here, 89, should work because there aren't too many high-pitched sounds like it would be the case in a drum loop with a lot of height, although it's pitched up, so maybe it would be a good idea to use a higher rate. So and if I didn't change anything, there should be also, yes, a playback machine on track 14, so we can just check if this works. Engage, start manually, and it should be here. So let's see why this sounds so distorted. I don't know. Go here. Okay, this is up. Okay, and let's set this to normal and see how that sounds. Not too bad. And now pitch it down. So this is how I imagine it to sound. Okay, now let's go back to track 13 and put 1 record track to it and set the length to 63. I tend to make +1 errors here, but I think if I remember correctly, the 0 is counting as a step because it records for every number increments it records. It needs 4 of these for one step. So this should be 1 bar. Here is not that important because it ends before that. So, and I let it set the way that this is the master and this is the slave, and we will see if this works. Okay, I should disengage all the other steps here, and again. So, and as you've seen, I took out the record step before it could reloop. So, and this should be here. No, it should be. Yeah, sounds good. And now I want this to be saved in the Machinedrum because the RAM gets deleted on power off and restart. So go here and go to sample manager and then go to the RAM 1 buffer. No, I don't want to send it right now, cancelled. I want to hear it. So, and in order to save it to a slot, I need to press function and copy and go to the slot where I wanted to have it and function and paste, and it asks me again if I'm sure. I am sure, and I want to reload the samples. So here it is. And yes, so now I could work with it from within the Machinedrum. I wanted to record the other samples as well, and we could also try to make 2 samples into one sample chain just for demonstration of the concept. So that one is done.
Kun je avond aan avond hakken?
This is also pretty long.
Hardcore! De gabber.
So perhaps these both will fit into one.
Hardcore!
Put this one here and
De gabber.
this one here, and then we will try out how slow we have to set the machine.
Hardcore! De gabber.
Perhaps a little
De
bit
gabber.
slower.
Hardcore! De gabber. 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 Hardcore!
So let's not to be too perfectionist about this. Stop. So now let's go. We are in track M1. Engage the record, buffer step thingy, and go.
De gabber.
So now we should have both samples here. Perhaps not. I don't know what I did wrong. No, I'm still in record mode. Okay. So, and because this is a different speed than the one we had just with the previous sample, and this is more pitched down, so let's pitch it up.
The gabber. The gabber.
This is not the right pitch, but it sounds nice, so I want to save this before I experiment with it, and I go again to function and global sample manager, go to the record buffer and copy sample, paste sample, yes, I'm sure, and I wanted to reload it. We can reduce sample size later with resampling, but we could have also chosen a different rate directly when recording. So now I want to have this one here, I think. Yes. So function kit, no, kit only without function edit, then select the correct slot, go to 1 and select the sample we just saved, so they can be named. So it should be here now.
The gabber.
And so we can, so now we have a sample chain. If you want to listen to the second sample, we set the start point to 64.
The gabber.
And if you want to listen to the first only, we set the end to 63. And that way you can have whole drum kits in one sample slot and one sample, and you can also put the same sample on 2 or 3 tracks, because you don't normally need too much samples being played at the same time. So we just wanted to program something here, so let's unprogram this. I like the fact that it changes the track to the pad I just played. This is not the case here. I'm sure there must be a reason for this, and this will be good for a lot of situations, but I still get confused because I'm used to this, and here it's pretty clear. I think it's a training problem in a kind. So, and I just want to demonstrate that we can work with this. So, and we will set perhaps, yes, 2 hardcores here, and then I want to have the hubber here, and then I use just the plug feature. So, and I think I need to assign the right sample. I don't know what went wrong before.
The gabber. The gabber. 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 The gabber.
The cover. 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 The cover.
Okay, that's not so perfect, but usable. So let's put some bass drum somewhere. So RC, yes, edit and go to ROM and let's see what's there. Why don't we hear something? I don't know.
The gabber.
So I need to get used to the other style of selecting samples. I'm sorry for the confusion. So
Come on.
yes, I want that one. So sound everything else off. It's also a strange decision that you can trigger sounds only if the line is on. So let's put these off and let's listen to it.